back to cooking with Lakers. We took a break for a few weeks, but now with Christmas fast approaching, I thought it's time to get on top of all that Christmas baking. So first thing we're going to do is our Christmas pudding. Many people are a bit wary of making a Christmas pudding, but in reality there's not an awful lot more to it than there is to making any other cake. The difference will come in how we cook it. So we're going to start off by creaming together our butter and our sugar. You can do this, of course, in a mixer if you want, but there's not a lot in it, so I'm just going to do it by hand. So once this is nice and fluffy, I'm going to add in our lightly beaten eggs. Mix them together. And now at this stage I'm going to sieve in my flour. I'm also going to add the spices through the sieve just to take out any lumps. So you can see here sometimes you get a few lumps at the bottom. So we'll scrape them through. Anything that doesn't break down we'll leave. I'm going to gently add this in. Now at this stage, we've added our eggs and then our flour, spices and a pinch of salt. We're on to our fruit. So there's some nice big raisins, some pale sultanas, candied peel, and some chopped cherries. All of this gives the body to our Christmas pudding. It's a very fruity cake. And then we have some fresh apple that'll keep a little bit of moisture in the cake as well. And our ground almonds. And gently mix all of these together. And then in go our breadcrumbs. Final ingredient at this stage is our bottle of stout. If you want to make a gluten-free version of a Christmas pudding, it's easy enough to have gluten-free breadcrumbs and then your gluten-free flour, but you might have to search a little bit harder for the gluten-free stout. If you can't find one, maybe gluten-free dark ale would work as well. This is the point at which we all get in there and make our Christmas wish. Close your eyes. Think about what you want to come true. And don't forget, don't tell anybody else. And Daniel did just that, thinking of something special while he stirred his pudding. It looks really good. At this stage, a lot of people will recommend that you leave it to sit overnight to allow all the fruit to absorb the liquid. But in fairness, if you want to just go ahead and bake it now, that's no problem either. So the next thing to do is to get it into the bowl. This is our pudding bowl. It'll be a 1.7 litre or a 3 pint. And we're going to add our mix into the pudding bowl. Now I've levelled off the top of my pudding and I'm going to cover it now with some greaseproof or parchment paper and some tin foil. Now I've put my sheet of parchment paper or greaseproof paper on top of my foil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend a little fold in it here. And what that does is when this goes on top of my pudding, it allows for expansion when it rises. So now that I've tucked the foil and parchment down around it, I'm going to tie some string around. You may need a second pair of hands for this bit. Now I've tied it around twice. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pass the leftover piece of string across the top and bring it over and make a little tie handle. This just, it gives you something to lift it in and out with without the option of burning your fingers. Next is we're going to trim any excess from around the edges. So you can see from the steam here now that I've added my boiling water into the tray. It's about 2/3 of the way up. And what I did before doing that was I laid sheets of tin foil out on the counter, and now I'm going to basically wrap it all up to create a pocket. So what we're doing is we're steaming this inside in the oven. So if you have some catering foil or some large turkey foil, this will help because it will give you a larger sheet. So once we've created this parcel, I have the oven set. It's quite low, it's about 150, 160 degrees Celsius, but it's going to go in for a long time, between 5 and 7 hours. The longer you leave it in, the darker it'll be, so it depends on your own taste. We'll see how it comes out later. My pudding has been out of the oven now since last night and has totally cooled. I'm going to take it out of the tub. That looks and smells delicious. And now I'm just going to pop it out onto a plate. Ooh, and just like that, perfect Christmas pudding.